Hello student, welcome back for the course of MBA Semester 4 International Marketing Environment, and today is our lecture number 13, 14 and 15. The topic of our today's discussion is UNCTAD, United Nations Conference for Trade and Development, IMF, International Monetary Fund Organization and World Bank. So, the primary objective of our today's session is help to understand the various international institutions. The first one is UNCTAD, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Second one is International Monetary Fund Organization, and third one is World Bank. So the contents of our today's session are UNCTAD, IMF and World Bank. So let us start the discussion from UNCTAD. Now this is the another very important economic institution, and that was primarily formed to remove the barriers in the process of development, particularly the developing countries. So this is called as United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, and it should be acronymed as UNCTAD. So this United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, which was formed in 1964 as a permanent intergovernmental body. So different countries are representing this particular organization. Okay, so across the world, many countries are the member of UNCTAD, and it was formed in 1964. So several countries representative are representing this organization, and that's why it is called as a permanent intergovernmental body. The United Nations office has been situated in the United States, and it is the part of United Nations Secretariat. So United Nations is looking the various kinds of activity that will promote for the development of that international trade with the help of that UNCTAD, okay, by means of using the United Nations Secretariat. So that United Nations Secretariat deals with, okay, different forms of trade, particularly international trade, investment and development related issues through the United Nations Secretariat. Okay, now how does it was established? It was established by the United Nations General Assembly. Now under the United Nations there is one council. That council is called as United Nations General Assembly. So through this United Nations General Assembly, UNCTAD was formed in 1964. Now to whom that UNCTAD has been reporting? So it will report to the United Nations General Assembly as well as United Nations Economic and Social Council. So we will already talk about there is one council that is called as United Nations General Assembly, and another council, United Nations Economic and Social Council. So this UNCTAD has been reporting to these two different councils, and time to time they will come up with different developments. Now why does that UNCT was formed? Okay, what are the main important causes, and how does it will be benefited to the different nations, especially the developing nations? Okay, So this creation of UNCTAD, okay, has been based on the concerns of developing countries. So we will discuss about the uh, GATT as well as WTO, wherever in many of the circumstances, okay, wherever the developing countries are being feeling neglected, okay, particularly to make an international trade with the developed nations. So these developing countries are facing the various economic and international trade related problems, and that's why they are being asking the several difficulties in the United Nations. Okay, so United Nations has granted the permission by means of formation of that UNCTAD, okay, wherever the major concern would be the developing countries and promotion of international trade through these developing countries, as well as from multinational corporations, okay, wherever that we will find out some sort of great disparity between the developed nations and developing nations. So to bridge the gap between the international trade between the developed nations and developing nations, primarily the UNCTAD was formed. So what does exactly that UNCTAD will provide? Okay, so this will provide the forum where the developing countries could discuss the problems relating to their economic development. So whether it is the problem that is related with the balance of payment situation within the country's other related issues with respect to their domestic as well as international trade, and other problems which are of national importance, okay, that could be discussed under that UNCTAD. So UNCTAD tries to protect the interest of these developing nations, and depending on the circumstances, depending on whatever form of situation in these developing countries, UNCTAD has provided the forum for discussion of these problems so as to come up with the solutions, particularly for other international bodies wherever it has been discussed in the United Nations. When we are talking about what exactly the UNCTAD will do, okay, UNCTAD has been performed the various forms of functions, and they will have some different goals so as to remove the disparities among the developed nations as well as developing nations. So primarily, okay, they tries to achieve their objective by means of using, okay, some particular type of system. This is called as, okay, this is the principal achievement of UNCTAD, okay, by means of convincing and implementing, okay, some particular form of system, okay, that will be governed by the UNCTAD, and that system is called as generalized system of preferences. This is called as GSP, okay. This generalized system of preferences are nothing but the preferential tariff system. Okay, this is the preferential tariff system, okay, which will provide the framework to reduce the tariff, okay, across many of the products, okay, from the member countries. So countries those who are dealing with different types of products or commodities wherever, okay, by means of using this generalized system of preferences, okay, these member countries tries to agree to reduce the tariff, okay. So wherever individual countries comes together, okay, by means of using this GSP, okay, it is a form of agreement in between the member countries wherever preferential tariff system has been introduced, okay. It is just other kind of system, okay, as compared to the most favored nation clause, okay. Now this that UNCTAD generally meets 4 times in a year, okay, by means of conducting the international conferences, and its office has been located in the United Nations Secretariat, Geneva, United States of America. So when we are talking about the uh, role of UNCTAD, this is one of the greater achievement of that UNCTAD by means of formulating the GSP, wherever each and every member countries tries to agree by means of reducing the tariff across the various types of products and commodities. Now when we are talking about the another role of that UNCTAD, so we will have goal and objective of the UNCTAD. So UNCTAD try to maximize the international trade, investment and development opportunity across the many of the developing countries, those who are facing the problems, particularly okay after the formation of GATT, even after the during WTO also. So this UNCTAD has provided the forum for discussion over there, and they try to integrate the efforts, okay, by means of using the discussion and negotiation in between the developed nations as well as the developing nations, and so as to integrate the overall world economy, okay, on equitable basis, and primarily without any discrimination the international trade would happen in this regard. This is the one of the great move, okay, particularly in the development of international trade by many of the countries, and these countries were agreed to conduct the international trade by means of following the this trade agreement of that UNCTAD. When we are talking about its objective, okay, UNCTAD has been primarily formulating the different types of policies and plans so as to promote the overall development of the country, particularly the developing countries. So they will think about the various aspects of international trade, okay, that will include trade, aid, transport, finance and technology. So by means of that, okay, they are providing the finance, they are providing some transportation related infrastructure as well as technological know-hows to the various countries, wherever all these member countries, okay, comes together by means of using the formulation of different policies for the promotion of international trade with these countries. Now, how does the UNCTAD was formed? Okay, we were seen that UNCTAD was formed particularly on the basis of concerns, okay, that is being relating to the promotion of international trade through the developing countries. When we are talking about the different countries, those who are facing the problem, okay, initially by means of using the GATT as well as the emergence of WTO, many other least developed nations, they do not have that much word, okay, even in GATT as well as in WTO. So this UNCTAD has tries to remove the disparity among them, okay, and try to promote the international trade from these countries. So this UNCTAD exactly comes into force from 1964, okay, and UNCTAD was established to provide the forum where developing countries could discuss the problems that are being relating to their economic development. So presently, in May 2018, nearly 195 states, means countries, are the member of that UNCTAD. If you are seeing the whole world map over here, okay, nearly 195 countries are the member of the UNCTAD, except the few, okay, countries over here. So these countries comes together and formulating such a kind of economic policies, okay, that will be helpful to the for the promotion of international trade from the developing nations specifically. The another type of organization is called as IMF. This is called as International Monetary Fund Organization. This is the logo of the IMF. IMF was formed in 1944, okay, as at the Bretton Woods Conference and came into force in 1945 with 29 member countries and the goal of restructuring the international payment system. Now, if we are talking about GATT, WTO, then UNCTAD, there was a major concern with respect to the exchange rate system, okay, or we will call it is a international payment system. So across the countries there are various currencies, okay, all these countries they were having different currencies, and whenever the international trade uh, take place in between these countries, so one of the major problem is with the exchange of that particular payment from one country to another country. Prior to that there was a Bretton Woods system, okay. In case of Bretton Woods system, the exchange rate would be compared with the dollar and match with the gold of that. So how much gold that the country has, okay, depending on that, okay, the Federal Reserve will print that particular dollars over here. So since uh, that Bretton Woods system would be having some different form of difficulties, particularly in case of exchange rate, okay, which are being defined under that Bretton Woods system, which is not appropriate, okay. So therefore, two organizations were formed. First one is IMF, and another one is World Bank. So IMF was formed in 1944 at Bretton Woods Conference, and particularly that would should be came into force from 1945 with 29 member countries. So one of the major objective or goal of that formation of IMF is to reconstruct the international payment system and as well as to define the new currency system or exchange rate system specifically. So countries those are having different currencies, okay, they should make an exchange, okay, of that particular money from one country to another country. So nearly that Bretton Woods system came to an end nearly in 1970 or 71, okay. After that, okay, the new exchange rate system could emerge, okay, by means of the IMF, okay, as well as from the World Bank, okay. And we today are following this international exchange system, and that is called as floating exchange rate system, that came into force from nearly 1968 across the world. So when we are talking about the formation of IMF and the World Bank, okay, we came to know they are having a very huge role in the development of the international trade as well as reconstructing the international payment system, and finally uh, we we have the very good form of the exchange rate system. So this will play a very crucial role, okay. This IMF has played a very crucial role in the management of balance of payment problems of the different countries, those who are facing the difficulties with financial crisis. So many countries those who are fighting with the problem of balance of payment, okay, they are not having sufficient form of export, okay, because of heavy imports within their countries. So they need to make the payment to all other international parties or other countries wherever, okay, they are facing the different problems due to whatever form of international payment system was there, okay, during that particular period of time. Again, here also many of the developing nations and least developed nations, because uh, they were not having the very good form of currency systems, okay, that should not be into comparison with the dollar, okay. Even whatever form of gold that the currency has during that particular time, okay, they were having very limited foreign exchange reserves, so they could not trade it very effectively and negotiated their terms and conditions with other member countries, those who are conducting the international trade. Even many countries, they are fighting with their present their present economic problems, okay, and facing the financial crisis. So it is quite necessary to overcome the difficulties of these nations, and that's why, okay, we need to have some appropriate form of international payment system for which IMF has been formed. So the main important goal of IMF to prevent the economic disasters by guiding its member countries. So IMF will provide the sufficient form of guidance in the form of uh, to prevent the economic disasters, okay, and to overcome from the financial crisis. So what does exactly IMF will do? Let us see ahead. When we are talking about this IMF, okay, IMF is an international organization which was headquartered at Washington DC, and presently there were 189 member countries are there in this IMF. IMF will perform the different types of functions and try to achieve their objective, okay, by means of using foster global monetary cooperation. So wherever these countries comes together and they tries to overcome their difficulties by means of a global monetary system. Nowadays we are using that floating rate exchange system, okay, that has been given by the IMF, as well as to secure the financial stability, okay, wherever many countries, those who are fighting with the problem of the disparities in the currencies, specifically they need to pay a heavy amount, okay, in terms of dollar to other countries. So it is quite difficult to that particular country, so as to secure the financial stability within their country's domestic market, as well as to facilitate the international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, so as to reduce the poverty around the world. This IMF has been formulated by means of using several objectives, and as well as by means of using to promote the appropriate exchange rate system across the world. So they were set their targets accordingly, okay. So this will offer the gold and constituent currencies available to the member for currency stabilization. So depending on how much amount of gold uh, the country has, okay, and the foreign exchange resource also, so the country can print their currencies, okay, and their exchange rate has been defined by means of a global exchange rate system, okay. So currency stabilization, okay, the IMF has introduces the currency stabilization using the floating exchange rate system. This was one of the greatest achievement of that IMF. Now, how does the IMF will perform this activity by means of introducing the global exchange rate system? So, IMF, after studying the currencies of various countries, so they were started to provide the index of currencies. So, right now, okay, the dollar has been defined in several countries, okay, in various ways. So $1 may be equal to, okay, 70 rupees in India or 75 rupees in India, okay. So how does it has been matched with the international currencies with other countries, okay, by means of using the index. So different types of index of currencies of several member countries, okay, which has been provided by the IMF. By means of introducing such a kind of currency system, the IMF tries to stabilize the global economy. This will reduce the inflation, okay, inflationary situation across the many countries and foster the growth of various nations, specifically the developing nations and the least developed nations. So this will monitor the global condition and identifies the risk in the international business. So IMF tries to study the global economic situation across the world as well as various member countries, and they tries to provide the various solutions to them. They also advise its members that how to improve their economies. So several countries, those who are fighting with the financial difficulties or wherever there is a financial disaster, okay, economic crunches. So this IMF has provided them different sort of advices. This will also provide some sort of technical assistance, okay, by means of providing the technological know-hows as well as short-term loans to prevent the financial crisis. So how does IMF has been acting as one of the very ingredient part of the overall world trade that we came to know. So here IMF will also provide the loans to the various countries, specifically again the developing nations and least developed nations. Okay, countries those who are fighting with, especially with the financial crisis, so they will be able to get the loan. Okay, and that is called a short-term goal for a particular period of time to overcome from the financial problems. What is the purpose as well as objective of that IMF? So IMF that we recently seen, okay, so this will promote the international monetary cooperation, facilitate international trade, foster sustainable economic growth, making resources available to its member, and as well as experiencing those members, specifically those who are experiencing the balance of payment difficulties. So mainly when we are talking about what is the purpose of the IMF, countries who those who are dealing with their individual difficulties with respect to their own economies, okay, or those who are facing the financial crisis. So IMF was formed to overcome from these difficulties. Okay, even what will be the objective of that IMF? Okay, again similar kind of objective as compared to the purpose, again to promote the international monetary cooperation, international trade. This will also generate the high employment once we enable the appropriate form of exchange rate system. This reduce the inflationary situation within the country, stability in case of exchange rate, okay, sustainable economic growth and making resources available to the member countries in case of any sort of financial difficulties. So this will be a major objective of the IMF. So IMF tries to promote the international trade as well as development of the individual member countries, okay, those who are involved in the international trade related activities. Now when we are talking about IMF, okay, how does that they are providing the loans or they are providing the funds to the various other countries? So mainly IMF will provide the funds, okay, to the member countries using the quotas and the loans. Here when we are talking about quotas, quotas are also called as some particular form of loans, okay, generally it is called as the pooled fund of member nations generate most of the IMF fund. So every year the member countries has to generate some fund and that is called as pooled fund, and that pooled fund will be utilized for any member nations those who are facing any kind of difficulties. The size of the member quota depends on its economic and financial importance in the world. Now, how much quota, okay, means how much amount of money has been given to the given by the IMF to that particular member countries, those who are fighting with some financial problems. So that depends on, okay, what kind of economic or financial disasters exist in that particular country. Say for example, 4 years back, okay, the Greece has been declared their bailout. So in that case, the role of IMF came to know, okay, they were given the huge amount of loan to the Greece and other nearby nations to deal with the financial difficulties. Now, when we are talking about some different forms of loans which has been provided to the different nations, nations with larger economic importance have larger quotas. So, how much amount of quotas has been fixed? So, every member nation they should have to define the huge amount of money depending on their economic power, okay, or economic strength of that particular country. So larger quota would be for larger nations, or nations those are developed nations, okay, or those are having good economic situations within the country. They should have to deposit huge amount of fund. The quotas are increased periodically as a means of boosting the IMF resources. IMF, that they are continuously increasing their resources, okay, by means of using their member countries. So uh, particularly during the period of emergencies, during the period of any type of economic crisis of the several countries, they tries to provide these quotas, okay, or how much amount of loan that should be given to that particular member countries has been decided by the IMF. So they are continuously increasing their fund by means of using their member countries. When we are talking about the loans, okay, how much amount of how much amount of loan will be given to the member countries, okay, or to whom the IMF will provide the loan to these member countries. So countries those who are fighting with the problems of balance of payments, okay, they do not have sufficient form of export as compared to their imports. Their imports are larger as compared to exports, okay, and stabilizing their economies and restore the sustainable economic growth across the nations, for which they are providing the loan. And that's why this IMF will collect the quotas from their member nations. So time to time huge amount of money will be collected by IMF, and then they will provide the loan to the other member nations, those who are fighting with any type of economic problems. So those who are the borrowers of these loans of IMF are mainly the developing countries as well as least developed nations. So they had limited access to the international capital market due to their economic difficulties. So they IMF only provide the kind of loans, okay, to the developing countries, and they do not deal with the international capital markets and securities. So they will keep their fund as it is, okay, they are not investing anywhere else. And if suppose the market will collapse, okay, in that case such a huge amount of fund could not be made available immediately to them, and they will not be in a situation to help the countries those who are dealing with their own economic problems, or those who are facing the economic crunches. So that's why they are not dealing with any type of capital markets, securities, or any exchange stock exchanges. The another kind of international organization would be called as World Bank. Again, as we discussed earlier, that World Bank was also formed in 1944 during the Bretton Woods Conference, and it is called along with the International Monetary Fund organization. So both these organizations was formed in 1944. Okay, so this is called as the World Bank. Now, what is the role of the World Bank and how does the World Bank will perform their operations? So, World Bank primarily introduces the two big organizations in July 1945, okay, with the member countries 189, okay. So, this will come into force from July 1945, and there were nearly 189 member countries in IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. There are two international organizations were set up under the World Bank. The first one is IBRD, and the second one is called as IDA, International Development Association, with 173 countries. Now, what is the role of IBRD and IDA? That IBRD and IDA will work under the World Bank directly, okay, and they will perform the different kind of activities. So let us discuss further. As we came to know that World Bank will be comprises of these two bigger institutions. Okay, these are again the international institutions. So first one is called as IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Now, what is the role of that IBRD? IBRD will provide loans, credit, and grants for the promotion of international trade. Okay, so whichever the member countries, so there were 189 member countries. Okay, those who are conducting the, those who are the member of the IBRD. Okay, if they do require any kind of loans, or they do require on some amount of money or fund on credit, or any side type of grants, so IBRD will be there, that will help them to overcome from various situations. Now another kind of organization that is called as IDA. IDA is nothing but International Development Association. This will provide a very low interest loans or no interest, means zero interest loan to the low income countries or least developed nations. So countries that those who do not have sufficient form of financial resources, okay, or they are fighting with their own financial problems, so IDA would be there, and IDA will provide a very low or no interest loans. Recently, Ghana has been given the huge amount of loan from the World Bank. It is a very poor country, those are fighting with their own financial problems. So, how does the loan will be provided to the member nations? So, we came to know 189 members in IBRD and 173 countries in the IDA. So, they will provide the loans to the countries of the world for capital projects. So, there will be some different form of capital projects or some infrastructural project within the country. If the country could require any sort of resources, okay, so they should have to raise their demand in the World Bank. Okay, say for example poverty eradication, okay, education. These are the various kinds of activity by means of which the World Bank could be also helpful. Since 1947, okay, means nearly from independence, okay, the World Bank has funded more than 12,000 projects. So across the world, more than 12,000 projects were funded by the World Bank institution. So huge amount of money has been given to the various nations. As of November 2018, the largest recipient of the World Bank loan was India. So India has received nearly 859 million US dollar, okay, and China has received 370 million US dollar as a loan from IBRD, okay. So in this way, the World Bank will be helpful to the various nations, and so as to promote, not only promote the international trade, but as well as to flourish the good economic development and growth within the country, and to overcome from various types of financial as well as non financial problems. Now, what is the purpose and function of the World Bank? As we came to know, World Bank will provide low interest loans or interest free credit, okay, or that grants, different kind of grants to the member countries. Now, these different form of loans, interest free credit, money, or any type of grant will be utilized on different projects. Mainly, these different projects are associated with to propagate the education within the country, as well as to promote the health and other infrastructural related issues within the country. Countries those who are fighting with some financial problem, okay, that World Bank will also help to them. So that fund to modernize the country's financial infrastructure, say for example agriculture and other natural resource management problems wherever the countries are being fighting with. So these kind of various kinds of help has been made by that World Bank, not only to promote the education, health and other infrastructural issues. In this way, the World Bank has stated their purpose by means of bridging the economic divide between the poor and the rich countries. So World Bank tries to remove the disparities in between the rich and the poor countries, and they wants to help each and every nation so as to overcome from their several problems. It will do by means of using, okay, by means of collecting the funds, okay. So how does that they are collecting the fund? Rich country resources into poor countries growth. So they are going to convert the resources those who are belonging to the rich country, okay, for the growth or development of the poor country. Or as long as, okay, they will also provide some long term vision to achieve the sustainable poverty reduction, okay, program. So this is one of the major important objective as well as function of the World Bank to work for the eradication of poverty across the various member countries, those who are fighting with the problem of poverty, okay, within their nations. So they were set their objectives towards the poverty, okay, and other several goals the World Bank uh, has. So World Bank they tries to remove the gap between the rich and poor countries so as to reduce the poverty. The one of the first goal that they would have to reduce the extreme poverty, okay, and they are looking that, okay, poverty could not be more than 3% of the people to live on $1.90 per day or less by 2030. So till 2030 they would be looking that, okay, there would not be more than 3% people, okay, they will get, they are presently getting, okay, are earning, okay, $1.90 per day, nearly 140 or 150 rupees per day. So these are the people, even in India, okay, those are purely belonging to the poverty line, below poverty line. Even these people are not having an access to get a single time of meal. So in that case, World Bank has been giving the various kinds of help to these member nations, specifically developing and least developed nations. The another goal of the World Bank is to promote the shared prosperity. So they want to overcome the difficulty across the nations, and they want to improve the income of bottom 40% of population in each country. So IMF is having the very good vision as well as the objective for which the IMF has been formed. They want to uplift the standard of living of the masses, specifically those who are belonging to the bottom of 40% of the population. They want to uplift so as to increase their income and bring into a human capital formation, okay, uh, that will contribute for the development of the nation itself. So in this way, World Bank has been doing their uh, various kinds of activities, so that not only to flourish the businesses across the world, but also they were having the various social objectives to promote the economic growth as well as development and sustainable development across the member countries. So that's all for our today's session. Thank you very much.